Hey, it's James from Marketing for Restaurants here. Welcome to episode 151 of Secret Sauce, the restaurant marketing podcast. What's in your Martech stack? Hey everyone, welcome back to the podcast. We're going to have some fun with this one. This is the start of a series. We're looking at Martech. I know the big question, what is Martech? We'll get to that. How did you go with episode 150, the future of online ordering? So Restalo, we're going really well with that. We've signed up customers already, well ahead of expectations. We're super excited about it. We're super excited about what it means for us. Frollo was always a lead generation tool for us. We were super excited that it became such an important part for so many restaurants. For those who've signed up and they've got it, we're super excited to continue to provide that for them. For everyone else, Restalo is the new Frollo. It's 5% commission, and I'm still quite shocked. That's a lot cheaper than what so many people out there are paying for literally just an online ordering system. So we're excited with that, but we're more excited about the way that is going to help us on the roadmap. So Frollo was always just lead gen for us. This is us really looking to deliver on what we call Menu 2.0, because I think that far too many people have not really been helping restaurants by enabling them with their most important salesperson, which is their menu. The menus just aren't working hard enough for them. And on top of that, online ordering 2.0. For us, it was lead gen. Now we're really going to step into the space and make it a key part of many, many, many restaurants around the world, online ordering, and a whole lot more. Because, like, I've been shocked. Frollo's been around for quite a few years now, and it's still pretty good. I'm shocked at that. There should have been so much more innovation. There hasn't been the innovation. We're going to have a crack at innovating. I think we're in a really good place to do that because so many restaurants have been given that feedback about what their ideas, just so many amazing ideas from people, what it is that they want to do. We're keen to be able to bring that to the table. The podcast has been going amazingly well. So the one thing I would ask for you, if you're getting something out of it, and we know that so many people do, tag a mate in, tell someone, really help us to spread the word. Because for us, obviously we do it so that we can find more customers. But also we know that there's many people out there who are listening who are never going to be a customer of ours. For a lot of them are doing the marketing themselves, and they get a lot of value out of it. It'd be really good to help spread that word. That'd be fantastic. So let's get into it. So this is going to be a really cool, probably series of episodes as we go through the Martech stack that we've got within our group. There's a couple of things in that. First off, we've got some visuals. So if you're listening to the podcast, you might want to pop along and have a look at the YouTube video where you'll see some of the graphics as we put them up about Martech. And, so you can see what it is that we're talking about. If you're looking at the YouTube video, if you found us on YouTube, then you might want to listen to the podcast if you're going out for a run and you want to get a heads up on it. What we're going to do is we're going to talk about, firstly, what Martech is, and it's very simple. It's marketing technology. What Martech should you have in your business? Now, I'm a really big believer that technology changes everything. And I think this is a really cool topic to be talking about, because if we were talking about some of the capabilities that we're going to discuss today, you would have had to have been working at Coke 10 years ago to have these kind of capabilities. These capabilities are now available to every small business owner. Many of the things that we're going to talk about today are free because we know that every small business, need to be making the most out of their marketing budget. So we're going to be concentrating predominantly on free tools. If it's not free, we'll list the price, but predominantly these tools are free. the kind of things that you can do in a small business is absolutely amazing. And I think this is one of the big reasons why there's never been a better time to be either starting or running a small business. There's just so much that you can do to get the marketing word out there. And marketing is one of the key things that you do in any business, and it is the highest return on investment activity that you're going to do. So, what we will now, the other thing to think about is not every small business is going to be using all of the tools that we're using. Our stack, it's moderately integrated so that we've got a little bit of a component to do each and every part of the marketing puzzle. We're going to talk about some of the alternatives. You may not want to do marketing in-house. You might want to get an expert in. If you do, this podcast is still for you, because this is going to show you the kind of capabilities that are out there. Because one of the biggest issues that we find when we pick up a customer who wants some marketing, and they'll say, "Oh, we've spent $20,000 on marketing," it'd be like, "Oh, great. Let's have a look at the reports. What is the work that's been done?" And I've seen people who've had a $20,000 website and they've had it there for 12 months, and there's no Google Analytics reporting on it, so you don't actually know how it's performing at all. There's been no keyword research done. There'll be significant gaps in the marketing that have been left, and it's because they're using a marketing company that doesn't really know what they're doing, which is a little bit sad. So what I want to do is, if you're not going to build your own stack, or if you're not going to use some of these tools, you're going to at least know about them. So when you're having that chat with that marketing company, you can be like, "Hey, what do you do for this? What platform are you using? What benefit is it going to be to me?" So I was doing a little bit of research around this, and I came up with some interesting. I came up with this interesting graphic, and it basically is a list of all of the marketing technology that is out there, and there is oodles of it. What we're going to do, I think it's really important to focus on a few tools. Now, we do a lot of marketing, so we've got more tools than the average small business would have. But I think the important thing is to pick a few of the important things that you think are going to help you to be able to grow your business, and concentrate on those. You're much better off having 2 or 3 things in your bag of tricks that you know how to use really well. And I've seen this as well, there'll be a company that will have 48 different types of technologies, and many of them haven't been used for the last 12 months, and they've got no idea about how to use them. So this will also help you go through and work out which one that you want to have in your business to help grow that business, grow your profits, grow your revenue, and more importantly, grow your profit. We've got a bit of a list. In that list, I've ranked them all by the complexity, and because some of them are dead easy to use and you really need to get on them, and how important they are for your business. So many small businesses, they'll have their marketing budget, and what they'll often think about is just the budget that they're spending on ads. This is one of the big mistakes that businesses make. They'll only allocate budget to the actual ads that they're running. Well, actually, the bigger mistake is not running ads. I see we have one customer who spends an inordinate amount of time in producing absolutely amazing photos for their Facebook and Instagram page, and does not spend 1 cent in advertising, which means that they get so little traction. Very sad. So you've got to be thinking about how much you're going to be spending on your ads. You've got to be thinking about what are the real costs around the other components of your marketing budget. How much for ads? How much on your actual marketing team? How much on content creation? And how much in the technology tools that you're going to spend. And the good thing with the things that we're looking at today, much of that should be free. So, We're looking for free and easy tools to be able to build your marketing, because the thing that we find with most small businesses is that everyone's pretty time poor, and you want to get the highest return on investment. You can't be spending $10,000 on a marketing campaign and not getting anywhere with it. And you might not even be able to spend $10,000 on the best marketing campaign you ever run. So we're looking after the dollars and cents, and we're looking after your time as well. Things that are going to be quick and easy to get into. So here is our list. I did say that there was going to be 10. I did go a little bit berserk. That is how I roll. But the cool thing is that there's actually 17, at least 17 cool marketing technologies that you can bring into your business to grow, to enhance your marketing and to grow your profitability. So let's get right into it. The first one, and I think that this is really important. Just quickly, we'll go through the price. As you can see, most of it's free. We'll look at what they're for, and we'll look at the complexity and just how important I think it is for you. We're going to start off with the one that I think is the most important, particularly if you're not going to have if you're not going to pay significant money for someone to be looking after your website, and that is WordPress. So WordPress is a really powerful tool. What it does is it's basically where you build your website, and the critical thing about this is that it is taken what used to be quite an expensive job, and because for most small businesses they don't need a complicated website. We have our biggest website gets 500,000 page views. The biggest one for one of our internal businesses, 500,000 page views per month. So that's a lot of people. And that is half of that is on WordPress. It's the only website that we have got that I can think of that isn't built fundamentally in WordPress. And so I think that's pretty cool. It's a huge testament to the capability of WordPress. It's the world's most popular platform. And the thing that they've done that makes it so powerful is it's WYSIWYG. What you see is what you get. It makes it a lot easier for you, and it handles all of the complexity. So what you're looking at here, this is one of our businesses where we're building a co-working space. Well, we were actually meant to launch it last year, but worst timing ever. Literally, I picked the worst year in a century to launch a co-working space. But that's all right. We move on. You can click in there and you can start making changes. So rather than going back to a web developer and saying, can you please change this, waiting a week and then them changing it incorrectly, you can actually make that change and hit save, hit refresh on the website, and you can say, yep, that's how I want it to look. It handles how it's going to look on a desktop, on a tablet, on a mobile. There's lots of plugins, so it's incredibly versatile. And I just think it's a really cool tool. Probably about 5 years ago, I kept on saying to our web developers, can you do this? Can you do that? Can you change this? Can you change that? And they said, James, you seriously need to have a look at how WordPress works, because you could actually do this. And I was like, oh, that's what I've got you guys for. And then I realized just how quick it was. And the time that I was spending to send an email, can you please change this? It was taking me longer to send the email then I could have just quickly logged in, made the change, gone, tested, done, all good. So WordPress for building your website in, hosting it, maintenance, keeping it updated. And remember, updating your website, that's one of those key things. Google likes to see a few changes on a website. It means that there's a bit of care and attention going there, and it means that the business is it's more likely to be a worthwhile referral from Google. So it helps with the search rankings. Now, the next one that we're going to look at, Yoast, works hand in glove with WordPress. So this is what Yoast is. It is an SEO tool. So one of the big things that you want to be thinking about in your business is what keywords you're ranking for. So when someone, and the secret of search engine optimization is that what is it? What is the problem that you solve? And if one of your customers had that problem, what would they type into Google? If you go through and think about that problem, and this is why I think it's really important that someone in the company, ideally the business owner, is tracking marketing and particularly SEO, is because you'll know your customers better than anyone. Well, you should do, and because of that, you'll know what they're going to be typing into Google to find you. Now, there's tools to help with that, but that's subject matter expertise. If you've been running your business for 10 years, you'll have a really, really good idea. You type in that keyword, and then Yoast will go in and have a look and say, okay, what is Google going to think of this in comparison to that keyword? This is incredibly powerful. And the thing that I love about it is that when you know that fact, I'm writing a page about a keyword because people who type that into Google, they're the ones who I want to land on this page. It gives you a really simple traffic light system. And so you can see here, they look at what Google looks at in a good page. And so look at the things that we've done. We've got an outbound link. Yeah, so that's a link to another website. We've got an internal link. So we've got a link from this page into another page in the website. The key phrase is a good length. There's enough, it's written enough times on the page to be relevant. We're not underdoing it and we're not overdoing it because Google doesn't like keyword stuffing. There's a meta description. The keyword is in the meta description. The meta description length is good. We haven't used the key phrase before. The text length is good. And it tells us the work that we've got to do. So it's not in the first paragraph. That's something that I should probably fix. We haven't used it in a subheading. So really some simple things that we can do in there, and that would take me 5 minutes to fix. I should get around to doing that. But a really good example of just how simple Yoast is, and we'll be covering this in some of our other lectures this year. We'll be doing podcasts around it, so there'll be plenty of content around how to create or how to use things like Yoast. I think it's something that everyone needs to be on top of. Next one, Google Analytics. Get on Analytics. So here is a page from our Google Analytics. This is for 4x4 Earth, an online business that we run. And as I said, 500,000 page views every month and growing. We're up about 20% in the last year, which has been pretty exciting. Now, this is the live dashboard. You can see how many people are on the website right now. You can see the pages per minute. We had a minute where there was 30 pages, one every 2 seconds. That's not too shabby at all. You can tell what pages are in there. Now, this is just one component of Google Analytics, and I've run analytics workshops a couple of times where we go for 2 hours and lightly skim over the top everything in there. The first thing that you want to do is you want to make sure that it is on your website. That's the first thing that you want to do, because far too many times web developers deliver a website without analytics on it. And I think that that's absolutely criminal. How do you know how you are performing? It's very difficult without that. The second thing is you got to actually log in. So we'll talk to a new customer. We'll say, okay, so you've got Google Analytics there. Can we have a look at the report? No. Okay, why not? Well, how do we get the report? Okay. This is something that I think you should be looking at once a month. This is part of, if you're big on checklists and routines, at least monthly. Now, Google Analytics for 4x4 Earth is so important. If you ever come to our office, you'll be able to see it as soon as you walk in the door. We actually have this up on a 42-inch monitor. We can see this because sometimes, like if the website's down and we haven't picked it up through our monitoring, we want to be able to know. Or what happens a lot more often is that there'll be something super topical. And we might see that there's 50 people on one particular page. Now, we want to jump in and start creating content around that and start, maybe we're going to put a Facebook post up because there's some news in the industry. So we actually view this in real time. For you, that's probably not necessary. But I would definitely be aiming to look at it once a month. What else will Google Analytics tell you? Lots of different things. So it'll tell you who what your customers are on. And you can see here that the majority, or just over half, of the people on the site at the moment are on a mobile. That's actually quite low for a lot of websites. We know a lot of restaurant websites can be as high as 80 or 90%. So you need to be thinking about what your website looks like in a mobile. Most people do a pretty good job with that. It'll tell you the landing page. Now, why is it important to know what page it is that someone finds you? That is what you're ranking for. So that is what people are looking for, and that is what your page actually ranks for. That's an important thing to know. It'll also it gives you trend analysis over time, so you can see how that's changing. It'll tell you the effectiveness. If you're running a Facebook campaign, it'll tell you how many people are coming from Facebook, how many people are coming from your email marketing campaign. So really quite, it answers a lot of questions, and it's really fundamental to your understanding of the effectiveness of your marketing. I've spoken to business owners who say, I've spent $100,000 and I don't really know what I've got for it. Hooly dooly, that's madness. You should be spending $100 and knowing what you're getting for it, and then spinning up from there, not spending $100,000 and saying, did I get anything out of it? That is complete madness. So, Piwik Analytics. So you want to know how many people are going to your website. Now, so Google Analytics is great. It's free. It's moderately simple to use. It's not the simplest of the technologies out there, but it's quite simple. So we use Piwik on our Marketing for Restaurants website. Now, and we use it for our restaurant customers as well. And that's because it gives you this. And this is something that, this is a really good comparison between Piwik and Google Analytics. Google Analytics tells you that there's 57 people on the website, and there's 2 people on the homepage, and there's 2 people in the forum index. So it tells you what people are doing, but it doesn't tell you what a person is doing. So you can see here, this gives you a much more granular idea about people on the website. So I can see that there is someone who is a returning visitor. They are in Australia. They're using Chrome. They took one action. They landed on a page, and then they've gone and had a look on 2 of our outlinks. That's interesting. Now, the one above them, they have had a look at 4 pages, and they were actually on the website for 47 minutes. Now, that is one of the little triggers for our team, because we've got a little chatbot on the website. So we could reach out to that person knowing that they've been on the website for 47 minutes. We know what page they're on, and we could say, hey, we know that you're interested in whatever. Is there something I can help you with? Do you want to give me your phone number and I'll give you a call right now? This makes a big difference in our conversion rate, because for restaurants, they're very busy people, and it enables us to grab them in the time that they're actually thinking about restaurant marketing. That's pretty cool. We also have goals scored on this, so we can see when we run a campaign, we can see how many times they have, how many times people have clicked on that landing page, how many times they filled in their details. We can then go back, and at the end of the month, we work out what's worked and what hasn't worked. Pretty cool. This is less important. Most people will get by with Google Analytics. If you're starting to get really granular with what it is that you want to do, then you might want to go a little bit more in depth with something like that. Next one, Magento. So let's have a look. Now, this is what you would do if you are going to put a shopping cart in. Magento, it's a little bit complicated, sits in WordPress, but looks pretty sweet. It's not a simple thing to do. There is a bit of work, and there's a significant amount of work in putting all of the products in there. Whether it's food for delivery, picnic hampers or whatever the product is that you've got. Magento got an absolutely huge workout over the last 12 months as many businesses around the world made the decision that they needed to go online because of the fact that many people were in lockdown or were scared to go out because of COVID. There are some some really robust online businesses that have grown out of Magento. It's a great little plugin. I think it's really powerful. And the key thing with this, the key takeaway with this is it does take a little bit of learning, and most people do it themselves because of the fact that there might be 20, 50, 100 hours of work. And particularly, you're going to have to take photos, you're going to have to be writing descriptions about each of your products, lots of work. And generally, that work needs to be done by someone in the business. Let's get rid of that. Now, next one is Mailchimp. So many, this is a big mistake that many restaurants make. They don't send emails to their customers. And for a lot of reasons. One, they don't have the technology to be able to do it. Two, they're too busy to do it. Three, they're worried that people are going to think that they're just spamming them. So my take on it is, if you're sending emails to people that have a relationship with you, then you're not spamming. Because what you want to do is you want to be sending them, information about your company. More importantly, I always like to have the WIFM rule in there. What's in it for me? So when we send an email, what is in it for you? And unless it's a really big, announcement that we've got, even then we really want to tie it back in. What does it mean for you, for the person who's going to be reading the email? Mailchimp makes it very easy to do it. You can collect if people can sign up to your newsletter or your birthday club or whatever it is, you can create a widget with Mailchimp and put it straight on the website. Very easy to do. Sending an email blast, very, very simple to do. More importantly, looking at your open rate, because that's a reflection of the subject line of your email. Looking at the click-through rate, because that's how engaging your copy is in there. And more importantly, what your call to action is. All of that information is at your fingertips. And I know that there are businesses out there with, some of them have only got 1,000 email addresses in their mailing list, but super loyal customers, and they can create a whole heap of revenue from that email when they send it out. I also know businesses that have got 100,000 emails in their account. Mailchimp, you might want to start looking around when you're getting up into the big numbers, because it does start to get quite pricey. But it's a freemium model, so if you've got small numbers, it's free. And my thing is, the thing I love about freemium is that you can get the hang of it. I think it's free up to 500 users. You should be generating some sort of value with 500 emails in there, and at that point, you're going to be happy to pay because you're getting that return. Now, the next one, the Google Search Console. This is a little bit more difficult, but it's something that I think is really important. So let's have a quick look. So this is for one of our websites. This is data over 3 months, and we have gotten nearly 13,000 clicks to one of our websites. That's pretty cool. We've appeared in search results nearly 600,000 times. Average click-through rate of 2.2%. Average position 35. Now, some of our websites rank for thousands of keywords, and that's why the average position is 35. But all of the text, all of the keywords that you're ranking for in your website, the Google Search Console will tell you how well it is performing. And it'll also give you some really key diagnostic stuff as well. It'll look at the speed of your website. Speed in a website is critical. That's because, particularly on a mobile, most people are on a mobile, mobile users tend to have a very low tolerance for long load times on a website. So if they're looking for a website for a restaurant, they'll click on it. Oh, it's not loading. I'm going to go back to the search and I'm going to try the next one. So you need to be loading. You need to be loading quickly. That's part of the search results. So Google wants everyone to have a really good experience when they're online. So Google preferentially ranks websites that load quickly. That's important. The Search Console will tell you the speed with which it is, and if there's any issues. It'll also tell you the things that you can get your web developer to fix to make it run a lot quicker. And I think that that's really powerful, being able to have that capability. Because you can pick up mistakes, and we've seen it where someone comes to us and we say, all right, this website's really slow. What we need to do is we need to fix it up. We need to make it a lot quicker. And you can just see the amount of traffic double in some cases. And that's really, that can make a really big difference to the bottom line if you're doubling the traffic to a website. So definitely something that you want to be thinking about. So we'll leave it there. I think today we've covered some really good, free and relatively easy to use tools. Make sure that you've got your Google Analytics or some sort of recording device software on your website, so you know just how many people are going to your website. Check out your Google Search Console. I think that's a really powerful tool. Yoast and WordPress, such a powerful combination there. Really puts the power in your hands to be able to create amazing content that is really super easy to make SEO friendly. If you've got anything out of today's episode, please like and share it on YouTube, your podcast player, Facebook, wherever you saw it. We're in a few places now. And yeah, stay tuned for part 2 of What's in Your Martech Stack. Bye.